waiting for YouTube to come live. And today's topic, source. Few more seconds. Source with Sunyata. We have a special guest, Anna Maria. Let's start with Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurva Swaha Tattavaitu Vareyam Bhago Devasya Demahi Deyo Yona Prachodaya Om Bhurva Swaha Tattavaitu Vareyam Bhago Devasya Demahi Deyo Yona Prachodaya Om Bhurva Swaha Tattavaitu Vareyam Bhago Devasya Demahi Deyo Yona Prachodaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Ekomananda. That was lovely. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to be in it. Let's just be in it. Let's just be in source. I am source. I am source. Everything through consciousness. I am that.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you speak a little bit louder?
Certainly. I'll get a little bit closer.
Thank you.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Well, there you are. We're there. in the conviction of understanding I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. I am consciousness. I'm before consciousness. I'm beyond consciousness. I'm Parabrahm. All exists through me. I am that. I am source. Once the sadhaka lives in the conviction, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am consciousness. Mind's domination has stopped. So it's described in many of the holy writings in India that we exist in 4 states: the waking state, the dreaming state, and the sleeping state. And they speak of a 4th state which runs through all of those, which is called Turiya or Sahaja. And Sahaja is pure consciousness, even in the deepest sleep. That quality. Process is instant. There's no work. There's nothing to attain. I am that. This is the recognition. I am that. It's only mind that interferes, that says, no, no, no. You must do this. You must do that. You must do this. You must do that. If you don't do this, then you're not worthy of it. This is mind. Mind is the enemy. Mind is perfectly good if it's a helper. It's good at doing sums, spelling words. But never ever to be the ruler. I am the ruler. Purusha. That before mind, body, world. Purusha is what many people call soul. Some may call it God consciousness. All pervasive, omniscient, pure light, no mind, folds into light, no mind, no body, no mind. It's very, very simple. It's very, very, very simple. way has been made complicated by those people who are being authentic about the way. There is no way. I am the way. There is no way. I say, I is the way. I is the way. Before self, before the one that was made, before the one that was conceived, before the one that was born. I'm that. Before the one that was named, that which has always been here, that which is absent of time, that which is empty and pure. I am that. I am the love of that. I'm the bliss of that. I'm the sharing of that. I'm the freedom of that. I'm the end of all suffering. I am that. This is the conviction. I am that. No mind. I am that. No world. No things. No names. No form. Absolute pure, effulgent light. As that I've always been. In that there is no being. There is no time. There is no past. There is no future. There is no present. It is as it is. There is no jhani. There is no ajani. There is no right way. This is the way. There is no way. I am that. I'm the center. These are the words of conviction. Bhava, until we settle into that, understand that, abide there. The grip of the mind is loosened. Equanimity is through all. Mind is the only obstacle. We go about, we look after things, 10 things as they occur. We think is happening. We are the light, we're the joy. before all that, not because of it, before all that, love and joy abounds from us because we are that. That is source. Effortless, totally effortless. The wearer of awareness, of consciousness, this is peace. This is home. Simply with this understanding, I has arrived. The understanding is all that is needed. There is no complexity. There is no difficulty. It is done.
Slowly, very slowly come back to your body, to your physical presence. And that was a beautiful introduction opening about source and a wonderful meditation. Perhaps, Sunyata, if you could run through us what we did just now and how does that associate with source?
When I say I am source, of course, I mean we are all source. All sentience is source. Everything is source. That source that emanates through us, through consciousness. The quality of it. The quality of it is light. The quality is sound. Light being the ek, and the sound being om. And we can hear that in very, very subtle ways. In the midst of the music of the world and all the children playing and the birds singing and everything that's going on in the world, there's no intermediator between the experience of source and I. They are one and the same. There's no thought to get to there. There's no climbing of a mountain. In consciousness, we just go to source. It's mind that has us take a path. We go directly to source, recognize its qualities. And there we're abiding in the true self, the I, going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So this is where our true sadhana begins, is here, in this space. Whether we choose to do it in quietude, in a quiet place, to give it time, or whether we go about and do our daily things. We learn to walk in this attitude. This attitude, I'll call it an attitude. For us, it's a direct experience that is reinforced by our conviction, our understanding of it. So everything that the avatars have told us, and everything that the spiritual masters have told us, and everything that's been said in the religious writings, but with no prohibitions or prescriptions. None of these things are necessary. You bypass all of this and go directly to it. Because if we live out of source, everything will organize and fix itself up appropriately. It's not in our doing that these things become rectified to create a pure space for us. Because it is that. I am that. It's a recognition. It's an attitude. But these words, in the experience, you can see the purity of it. The Sahaja. Sahaja is that state is always with us. And for that we can't know, those things that we don't know, even that the conviction and the purity and the understanding of who I am emanates out into that. So the deeper we go in consciousness, the more we realize that I was never time-bound. I was never bound to a set of ideas. I am not the conditioned self. I am not the one that was born. I was not the one that was conceived. I was not the one that was named. I am before, and I am after, and I'm now. This is bhava, this is the conviction, this is the certainty. These are the attributeless attributes. They're not ideas. It's the pure, simple truth that I am that. That I belongs to everyone. You are that. There's no limitation. There's no having to contrive a life. And simply moves as it occurs to us. The attributes of mind lose their grip. And we're off again. We are that. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. And I don't know how this would occur on YouTube. It would be like seeing human beings. It's like watching goldfish for people who need to sort of de-stress. Imagine if they tune in on our YouTube event. It'll be like, oh, okay. So nothing, that's good. Nothing to prove, nothing to do. Ekomananda.
How would you say to go to source? Are there any specific method to go to source? And I believe there's a lot of confusion in the spiritual community, which I work closely with.
I think everyone has a relationship with it. But we may mix it up with our doing. That we're doing the right things and being the right way, but all this is just happening. There is no doing in it. There is no doing in it. But the moment if I were to claim it and sort of say this is mine, well, there isn't anything to claim. There's nothing to claim. That's the beauty of it. It's real freedom. It has no attributes. I mean, there's qualities in it. There's bliss in it. Ananda is there. The light is there. Ek is there. The light is there. The sound is there. Also, you can see how things unyoke even the outside world. You can hear it in the birds, even the children play, the dogs fighting. Even the dogs are in their freedom to be dogs. They're unyoked. They're going to be dogs. You know? It all has its purity. Children being naughty and yelling and screaming and playing, it's all beautiful. It's all unyoked. Mm-hmm. And we're not doing anything. We're just allowing it to be. We allow it to be. We allow it to be, you know. And for people who might have any inquisitiveness into it, then you become strong in the conviction of it, so that you can share that. And then you just simply say, well, let's sit down and just do nothing for a while. Let's not get into the psychological aspects of it. Let's not get into the mind aspects of it. Let's just do nothing. Let's just have a cup of tea. Let's just have a cup of tea. Keep it really, really simple. It has no psychology to it. You are pure. You know, I don't want to say we're the fortunate ones, but we are the fortunate ones. And there is a certain aesthetic in it. There's a beauty in an aesthetic way. There's a beauty in the aesthetic. There's freedom to be aesthetic because there's no desire. There's no desire. There's no desire. There's things that we need to maintain, all well and good. That's fine. But there's no desire, which is naturally aesthetics. And that's the beauty. That's a beauty. It means that we've arrived there. The world hasn't got its grip anymore. It's not got the grip on us anymore. We're between it all. We're in it all, throughout it all, but not of it. I am in this world, but not of it. That's Jesus. I am the truth, the way, and the light. That's Jesus. And I'm sure that what he was trying to persuade everyone to see was that they were that. I was convinced by that by the time I was 9. That was what Jesus meant. That we all are that. All sons and daughters of God, if you like, and beyond that, because in consciousness the gods exist within us as well. Nothing exists without us. That's the reality. We're born out of nothingness, come to consciousness, become aware of a body. We are encouraged to develop a mind. All those things happen way into our life. As we're 2.5, 3 or something before we even get any inkling of any of that. Everyone says the purity of a child, but they're ignorant. Well, that's true. Now that we've seen all the world and we've seen the world fully, then we can declutch from that. Yes, a little shudder. You declutch from that, and it's just like sailing. It's like sailing. Just tack across. There's a wind that goes that way. Tack across, then you have to tack across as well. Okay, a little bit. There's something there. That's fine. It's all easy. Everything's easy. And a lot of people won't understand because they're in the mind. Because mind demands that you have a set of precepts. You have to do this and that, this and this and that, this. No, 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 no. All you have to do is focus on source. And, we can say, okay, more advanced sadhaka, we're used to meditating. We've learned how to sit. And, perhaps that might be true. People just get it. They just get it straight away. And then all they have to do is be in the right company. you sort of seek out the right company. It's like what's happening for you now. You know, the company is purifying, and you find yourself in right company. All of a sudden, it's done. Now, that's the right desire. If we desire anything, we desire the absolute highest. That's good. That type of desire is good. But no gap. I am that. Studying things like the Ekomananda has a copy of the Rebel Gita, Anne-Marie. She might want to share that with you and show you that writing out of India. It's beautiful. You would grasp it straight away. It's very, very beautiful. It uses this type of language, the Gita. Yes, Ekomananda?
I have a definition of source. I wonder if I could share with the audience.
Yes. All right.
This is from a book that I love. It's by Larry Ladd called The Divine Design. According to Larry, source, some consider it God. It is indescribable. There's no definition, no form, no label. It just is. It is a single vibration that has no beginning and no end. It's a single breath that never stops. It is a single heartbeat that continues to expand.
That's the Ekom. That's the Ekom car, that there. Yes. Well, the Ek is the first part. The single vibration is the Om. Right. Now the next part. Sorry, carry on.
It exists in no time, no space, yet it holds everything.
Mhm.
It is a concept that the human mind grapples with, yet beyond all of our individual experiences. It is all and nothing at the same time, and that is oneness. Humans have touched the sparks of the source and entered the one unified field of nothingness. When the human touches the source, there is a feeling of complete bliss and oneness.
Yes.
As a unified field of nothingness, it can only experience itself by existing outside of itself. That is, source uses its individual sparks of its own consciousness to experience itself. It pulsates and splits an aspect of its consciousness and sends it to the quantum field. That unique consciousness holds its energetic frequency based on its energetic spin. Every individual consciousness exists in this way, including all of us. These are the words that are used to describe that which is indescribable.
Yeah, the energetic spin is like the glue that brings us into beingness. So that's life. Life is being, beingness. Life is beingness, which is just pure energy. That just happens. That just happened. So yeah, that's all. That's all correct. That's all correct. That's all good.
So I sort of share that with some audience, some of my friends. They perhaps prefer to have something that is more tangible for them to grasp the idea in order to understand it and can bring back to their scientific mind and give it an easier way to access source.
There's lots of people grappling with this at the moment on the internet, the concept of it. Yes, for me, I just like to go to it directly. I don't think um, the thing that I see is um, there's a need just to go directly to it, just to go directly to it, just go directly.
Well, with your level of advancement and the consistency as a form of constant meditation, and you have direct access to the source. Um,
Yes, I'm very
for our
fortunate.
friends, for our friends, I guess we're here to hold space. And
It, being in the right company, because a lot of it is the higher quality of feeling. There's an etheric feeling, which isn't the astral feeling, the emotional feeling. It's actually etheric. There's a feeling body, which is more the form of the feeling of light and the sound, the ekomka, the ek, and the om. That there's a very subtle feeling quality when the mind starts losing its grip. So this is what's really important about being in right company. Why it's important to come together for group satsang, where you have an agreement that you don't go into anything psychological or anything like this. We don't deal with any of that. You just create a pure space with one another, and you hold that space with one another. Then people will get it directly by osmosis, by osmosis, by being in contact with it. And then a few words are shared, and people get the knack of it. And people will ask the questions for where their own confusion is as they, because we're here. So we're happy to share, I'm sure. So for wherever we come into contact with, if people are open to be here with us, then it's very, very easy because this bridging space, once you become self-realized, and that's just simply to see yourself as light and distinct from the conditioned self. That's all that means. And that can be an explosive light, or it can be very, very subtle and just an understanding. It can come as understanding. But there's a deepening that happens where one goes into what we call the city qualities, and that will keep on refining and go deeper and deeper and deeper. The reality is that all these qualities are all here within us. They just have to be released. They just have to be released, unyoked. I don't know what the right word is, but unyoked, so that they can just be seen again, the qualities of who we are, and all very, very good. And any iniquity or difficulties that people have, all they have to do is come to this practice. So I just encourage everyone to just go seek good company. Seek good company. Seek good company. Yes, Ekomananda.
good companies, this reminds me a immortals or some celebrity has said this before. Who are the top 5 people in your life that can lift your energy, lift your vibration? So look up or look for the 5 or mentors, friends
Yeah,
that is
that's a
equal or higher above you, that can lift your energy, lift your vibration, and they provide light and that om sound and help you to keep on moving up higher.
that's a lovely idea. Even one or two or three, because the number would grow very quickly, wouldn't it?
Yes,
Number would
collectively,
you'd have to
the power expands when we have a group of us coming together. I remember the statistics is if 10 people coming together, it actually shifts the whole city's energy.
Mm.
Can you imagine how powerful that is if we're coming together doing one thing and spread the love as source energy?
This is the final desire, this position, to want this, to want to have direct relationship with Source. Of course, I am Source, so that's it. And this, you have to say this for yourself. I am Source. And listen to what mind says, because mind will throw stuff up at you and say, of course you're not Source. And you're not Source. Yes, you are. Yes, you are Source. Yes, you are Source. And so us that are strong and established there, we are that conviction. It's not just a question of saying it or having an attitude. We live out of that conviction, the experience of that. We are that. So, and everyone is this. They just need to be reminded. People just need to be reminded. But people have their own time and they have their own way. And people at different stages of life too. So that's fine too. Nothing needs to be pushed. There's no judgment in it. Yes, Ekomananda.
From my own humble experience, when I was learning from Sunyata, I had the honor, the fortune to learn from Sunyata. Conviction, when first came to me, it was quite uncomfortable. There's some sensations inside your body, so listen to it. Sunyata says listen to the mind. And another idea is go inside. If you close your eyes and say to yourself, I am source, I am consciousness, I am love and the light, and see how you feel. And stay there, observe that sensation within you. It will come up inside your body, because I'm a therapist in that way. And when you identify it, it is stored somewhere in the body, the doubt. It's the doubt. It is a kind of like distrust.
And the mind is very, very automatic too. Like it happens. Mind is because it's built. Most people's mind is encouraged to respond to fear or doubt. So to expect a negative outcome, and that needs to happen really quick for if you're in a dangerous circumstance. But we're not in a dangerous circumstance most of the time when we're using this faculty. This is why people get so stressed when they in the morning. Why people go to road rage at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, because this is the nature of mind, and how nasty it can be. Mind can be really, really nasty and swiftly. So, it needs to be put in place. Because there's no warranted inquiry that it will sort of say, okay, yeah, we need to be really scientific or prove this. There's nothing to prove. Like, do you say to yourself, I'm really enjoying this ice cream, but I'm not sure if I should enjoy this ice cream. We might because it's not, we say there's too much sugar or something in it, but the reality is we are enjoying that ice cream. You don't question the enjoyment of that thing. You just say, yes, that's what it is. This is very, very interesting. And a curiosity opens up when you start going into deeper sadhana. As you come into deeper sadhana, you want to follow it in deeper and deeper and deeper because it has hidden qualities. They're more, it's exquisite. There's exquisite qualities to it. And at first, these things can appear even shocking, like hard to actually hold on to because they're so elevated. You feel like you have to come down. They can be very excitable almost. But we learn how to just temper it and just allow the energy to come out at its own pace. And one thing that I've understood since Ekomananda has been bringing me out more publicly is there was a query for me in the quality of Nirvikalpa, but now I understand that Nirvikalpa is actually a rhythm, which is for us to be able to handle this higher samadhi, it has to occur to us very, very slowly. It's like a drip of nectar. And this is happening within us all the time, all the time. And if we tune into it as meditators, we'll recognize that. And we can use that too. You know, if all of a sudden we find ourselves having to deal with a lot of negative energy, we just go back to source. And we just see that, you know, that drip of nectar, we drink it up and come back into it. And this gives us more resilience for where negativity can come in to us. Because there is a lot of negativity in the world. Of course there is. Too much, you know. But anyway, you know, we start here. This is good. This purity is beautiful. I love this. Our fishbowl YouTube of 3 people sitting in very deep meditation with one another. I'm sure that people would enjoy it and they're ready to come to it. They can just, you know, get on board and share it for a little while. Just watch it. So, that's interesting. Most people look very, very happy. You know, they could see our eyes, they realize our eyes are really sparkly. And we're very, very happy. And it's not because of anything. There's nothing to it. It's empty and void. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yes. You know, and yeah, once we've got it, we've got it. It's ours. You know, we just stay with one another until we get really strong, and then you're free. You're free. Yeah, look. Ekomananda?
I wanted to just go back what you said. The mind is automatic and then go to the source. And how do we stop or interrupt the mind automatic process? Because when the mind is automatic, we do things unconsciously or subconsciously. So one way to help is to slow down the doing, busy
Yeah.
doing.
Well, for the first,
Slow.
yes, for the first part, you watch, and mind isn't constant. Thought isn't constant. So first of all, it might look like thought is going from one all the time. It's, you know, maintains this continuity of who I am or whatever, what's going on or what's pressing or what needs to be done. But if you look very carefully, there's a gap between thoughts. And the more you look at the gap, the bigger the gap becomes until you can see standing thought. Thought occurs for me, but they're like standing thoughts. They just go this. They're not pressing. They're just like there. and and I know that that's pertinent. That point is pertinent. But so you just go and you pull it in, put into consciousness, and then it's spoken out when the appropriate moments for it to be so. There were thoughts arose when we were in deep meditation, and I wanted to talk about certain qualities, but I enjoyed the meditation of where we were so deeply. I just let them, like we were talking last week, they're just like grapes hanging off a vine, you know, and that's how I think of thought these days. They're actually my friends. So it's all right, I can just pick some of them because they're juicy. The thoughts are actually the right flavor. I've got the right taste now. So I can pick them and just put them out. And, you know, that's good. You know, that's good. They're not disruptive, not disruptive. But, you know, you have to choose your time for it. But now, I mean, you're noticing this now, Ekomananda, in your meditation. the gap between thought has become, there's times where you go into the go, oh, there was really no thought through all that time then. That was just, yeah. And it's interesting,
Yes.
and it
So
becomes more so you let mind go, but you watch it. You don't get into it. You don't engage in it. Like it's different when we're talking on a particular subject or you're doing a particular thing. But when mind's just rattling on, you don't engage in it. If it's just getting you to be upset about things that you can't even deal with now, you go, what's that old Sufi practice of leaving your shoes at the door, which means you leave the world at the door and then you come home. You leave the world at the door. You take off your shoes. That's what the ritual of taking off your shoes is. You leave the world outside so the home stays pure. You don't bring the world into the home. So this is, our heart is our home. So we don't bring the rubbish of the world into our heart. Or we work at that perhaps, you don't bring the rubbish of the world into your heart and leave your shoes at the door.
that's a wonderful way to
It's lovely,
describe
isn't it?
the
That's a
ritual
seat.
and how we use that ritual to
Yeah, it's a
describe the
seat.
purity of the house.
It's a seat practice. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a
Mm.
lot of ancient ways, like it's been, people have been, masters have been working at this for a long time. Many, many masters in lots of different contexts for different times have always been here with us, and now we're just part of that pool, and you just become part of that pool and become that, and this is where we do our bhakti as masters together with co-workers, for the higher source, or co-workers for God, if you like, whatever way you'd like to put it, whatever your understanding brings to you. But we're all together on that. There's no division as we get here. Yeah, it's all very lovely.
That's beautiful. I wonder if Anna Maria has any experience to share about your direct contact with Source.
Oh, mm.
I'm saying that.
Words. I don't words. Um when I'm in that state that I don't even be in that state. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, yes.
You disappeared.
Here I am.
Are you? I love the way you tip back, Anna Marie. You tip back, and everything opens up into the cosmic consciousness. You love the cosmic consciousness,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
do a big expansion out. That's your portal. You do cosmic consciousness. I see you do it. It's very beautiful.
She just sits there, she's got the cosmic consciousness behind her.
Well, that's not, but that's what she's actually doing. That's why she rears back like that when she's in deep meditation, because that's what those who favor cosmic consciousness as a portal. We all like a different portal. Some of us like pure consciousness, some like cosmic consciousness, some like nothingness. These are all portals. These are all portals for,
And we
and
have
yes, so
three distinguished color here today.
Yeah.
Different
yeah, we
tone of consciousness here.
yeah, she's the very, very deep part of the great cosmic mind. It's a beautiful thing. A little story. I was once taken to a young fellow, or 40, he was in his mid-40s, and he said, I was living in India, and he said, Sunyata, can you please come with me? My father is dying, right? And I said, yes, certainly. So I went with me, and he took me by his hand, and we went to this house, and we got to the door, we were standing at the door, and I could feel the energy coming through the door. And then the door opened, and it was the wife, the mother of this man, 44-year-old man. So she was in her mid-60s maybe. And she was really beside herself. You know, her husband was dying. And I walked into the room, and the energy was so high, I couldn't keep the smile off my face. But these people
Oh,
were
wow.
already at a point where they were grieving the loss of the father and the husband before it had gone, right? But so I'm smiling, and I'm trying to, but I couldn't help it because the energy, and I put my hands up like this, doing the Chaitanya Shakti, you know, like where the energy comes into the body, and you can't help, you almost want to dance because the energy is so beautiful. Because you know, the company of an enlightened one, it's an enlightened one, and more than that, he's in that break of Mahasamadhi. He's moving between those spaces.
Yeah.
And so we went into a tiny little room, and there was a little bed there, and under a shawl was a waif of a skeleton. You could see the skeleton through of this figure on the thing, and dead still. And they're making all this noise really loud. And I'm thinking, you know, like he's resting. And 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 all of a sudden he saw his hand come up, arm come up, and he just peeled up, and then he raised his face up toward mine, and our faces met. His eyes were pure. He was an Indian man, really dark skin. His eyes were pure blue, and when I looked into his eyes, I saw the whole cosmos,
Wow. Wow.
just the whole. And we just laughed. We just started laughing because it was just so ecstatic, and everyone was
Beautiful.
looking around, going, "What's happening?" And
Yeah.
like, because there was so much in their minds about what was happening, they were missing. This man was a bhakti yogi, should I say. And so his way was, he actually worked in the bookshop all his retired life in the Osho ashram. So he devoted himself to bhakti, and it worked.
Mm.
He was enlightened, and of the highest order, beautiful. It was like, and I just did Chaitanya Shakti and did a little bit of dancing and said, well, you've got nothing to worry about. Everything's going to be fine. You know, everything's going to be fine. But, you know, people
Everything is fine.
focus on the utility of things too much on the utility of life. Or if the mind is always going, you know, but what do we need to do to make things right? What do we need to do to get this going? What do we need to do? It's always into utility. It's all the usefulness of things.
Mm.
So that's why a lot of people don't really understand or grasp what sadhana is for. You know, there's a certain body of people, perhaps in the New Age movement, who come toward it, and this is all perfectly good, but they do it more so that their countenance is more pure, and they can be strong in their bodies and be beautiful in the world, which is all really good, lovely. At a certain point, that will expand, and then they'll come into serious sadhana. It won't be just, you know, they'll grasp what it really is and how deep it really, really goes. But yeah, so anyway, all good. This thing about utilities, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're not concerned with the utility of it because we're already here. There's no utility in it. It just is what it is. Mind you, there is a bonus to being free. You don't get caught up in all these unnecessary things. You know, you just don't get caught up in it. You know, the webs, the things we're born in. We're finished
I
with it.
think one important aspect for our friends and audience to understand is to see the benefit in it. And people will be caught up with emotions, family connections, love. A hug from mom, dad, daughter, grandchildren, keeps them alive,
That's
keeps
beautiful.
them feel loved.
That's
And
that's beautiful. That's good. For as long as it exists, that's really good. Because everything, it's again, that's Nisargadatta say it all the time. The self's love to be is the creation of the self. The self's love to be. So we, for those things that we see love, whether it's something we get something out of, an opportunity to give, that's what we've created in this life, our way to be in life, and and that's perfectly fine. That's the way of love, you know. And if you look, this is how we come back to the self, and the self is a different set of self is a different set of abilities, and but they become purified. They just, and it's very very simple, and that simplicity washes over the self. It's not the craving self anymore. It's not the craving mind anymore. You're free of that grip. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It's finished. And so this is where we are. The more we go here, all those vasanas and some sankharas disappear, they evaporate, they melt away, all the old grip. And when we came into this world, a web was cast to catch us, and it was in the form of our name. It was in the form of our conception through our parents, had a conception for us. As soon as they knew our sex, they probably knew our stars. If they didn't know our stars would. And there's a whole formation that comes around the self that forms it to be that way. And that's all perfectly good in the instruction of grounding a child into the world. That's all really, really necessary. That's all really, really, really necessary. But where the competitive qualities come forward, where any level hate comes forward, or fear, which is educated into the children, all these things will form the vasanas and some skaras that come around us. And, we have to work through all that and be done with it. Be done with it until it is, and these things will come up occasionally in us all. And you just look at it and you take responsibility for how it's risen, and you clean it up, and apologize for anything if something needs to be apologized for in the past. You tidy these things up, and then it's finished. It's like putting a bow in it. Completion. Completion is very, very important. And that's what this is about. This is tying the bow. And then everything else is a mystery. We don't know where things go, but it's a mystery. And there's certainly no fear. I'm very, very curious no matter what happens. Even when I shed this body, I'm very curious. What happens beyond this absorption of this? Very curious. Because it's a great mystery. It's as unknowable as I am. It's as unknowable as I am. I'm completely unknowable. Prima Dave. Do you like that name? Prima Dave? It's a beautiful name. I think it suits you.
I do. I like it. Yeah.
It's going to be my nickname for you. It's hardly a nickname.
I accept.
Yeah, thank you. That's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely.
Mm.
Go forward together and be strong with one another. Meditation is good. Do you get time for a lot of meditation? Right?
Yes. Yes.
I thought so. Well, you've landed in exactly the right spot. I knew you were coming, by the way. Ekomananda was sort of had sort of plans, and she was liberating herself and making the space more available for someone to come. And I knew it was going to be just the right person. Yeah, and for where you are there, this is for me. A Norton Summit is a Runachala. It's a Runachala for me. That your home is perched on top of a Runachala for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how I feel it. It's here. This is Virupaksha Cave, but yours is Arunachala, and it's a very, very sacred spot, very, very special spot. I wouldn't be surprised if there was Aboriginal women's dreaming, sacred women's dreaming there at some stage.
I can
Yeah,
find it.
yes, probably find out. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised for the way the energy is organised.
Mm.
It's because the place has its identity too, of course,
Yeah. Yes.
and all these things. It's part of creating. It's a very, very sacred spot where you are.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's no wonder that Ekomananda has chosen it to sort of.
Oh, I did not choose this. I think the universe has a plan for me.
That's right.
Source has a plan because we're talking about source today.
Well, it's a beautiful
Um,
spot.
Definitely.
I couldn't think of a better place to be in Adelaide. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful.
we follow light and the source.
Yeah.
And we see here has the infinite utility. If our friends and audience, they do not understand the difference between their physical utility and when you can't find anything in your physical life, and that's why you come to source.
Absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Always come back to if you get yourself into any issue, just come back to source. Anything, little or big, come back to source. Just come back to source.
Slow down, watch your emotions, sit, silent, be still. Remember, stillness, pause, do nothing, no speaking with yourself, and that is the key to access source.
Yes, yes. I think that's pretty good, hey, for the day.
We are very fortunate to be, and we perhaps about timing for today's session. Maybe just a short, quick blessing, meditation. May all of us, all sentient beings, come to the source, come to light, come to love all together. There is a better way to live, to be. There's an easier way to enjoy your life. Everything that you need, everything that you desire is here, and just right here in source. Because you are source. You are source.
Shanti, shanti, shanti.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Sunyata, for the wonderful teaching and sharing. See you in the next session.